All right, it is Free Comic Book Day, and we're heading in to look at some great books. How about that? We'll see what we're going to find. Comic Book Day!
Happy Free Comic Book Day!
You're right here with Ron and Rob and Bela. It's Zombie Unicorn Comics in Chicago. What a great bunch of free comics. Any of them catch your eye? Welcome back, fellow time travelers and comic book aficionados. Have you ever wondered and scratched your head and thought, how did Free Comic Book Day come to be? What is the history behind such an important tradition in the comic book industry? In 2001, a comic book store owner by the name of Joe Field of the San Francisco and Oakland area saw a line of people waiting to grab a free scoop of ice cream from the local Baskin-Robbins next door. So he thought about it and said, what a novel idea. And then in August of 2001, wrote in Comic and Game Retailer magazine an article recommending the idea. After some time, Roger Fletcher of Diamond Distributor, the main distributor of all comics, was on board and said, hey, let's do this. Let's offer free comics and sampling to comic book fans out there. And on May 4th, 2002, Free Comic Book Day was born, offering a variety of new comic books, ideas, and giving our publishers a chance to reach out and inform the viewers of comics. Over the years, I've come to enjoy the tradition of the first Saturday in May, and it also marks the time of spring transitioning into summer, movie blockbusters coming to be, and waiting in line with fellow comic book fans and talking to shop owners and really seeing what's out there. Oftentimes getting to pick behind a wall up to 3 comics or maybe 4 comics, as there's to keep a limit to those going out to the public. It was a lot of fun, and I remember picking up my first few back in the day. And we really have to thank Joe Field, right over here, for letting that concept come into fruition and acting all the way from beginning to end. So from 2002 to the time of this video, in this time warp of 2025, we've already seen 23 good years of Free Comic Book Day. The only time it didn't happen was during the pandemic in 2020, where it was dubbed, instead of Free Comic Book Day, the Summer of Free Comics from July to September. So if you're making a visit during that time, you're offered a free comic book. And since the pandemic, it has gone back to its original format, thankfully. But even that didn't stop the comic book day from happening. All right, everybody, let's use the trusty time machine right here to go back to the year 2002 where it all began. Let's take a look at what books were offered in the inaugural comic book day. So here we go, guys. Let's hang on. Wow, that time machine always packs a wallop. And here we are with the first 5 comic books offered for Free Comic Book Day with that distinctive logo. Let's take a closer look. All right, we're looking at the first offering of Free Comic Book Day comics, and because of the movie coming out of the same year in 2002, the feature comic that everybody was looking for was Spider-Man, and this is a reproduction of the Ultimate Spider-Man, another printing of it, and we have the story unfolding, and looking at some of the advertisements is a lot of fun. And this gave a lot of new readers insight into what comics were all about. The movies really ushered in new readers. We even have a Mile High Comics advertisement right here with some of the prices. A Fantastic Four going for $2,500. That's a steal. And that was a little over 20 years ago. Strange Tales. So it's kind of neat seeing this feature here, showing off some of the books, including Spider-Man #1 in a very good condition. So the prices have gone up quite a bit from this year. But it was a fun way to get a free comic and then get into being enticed into the hobby. Here's the logo for the Sony Spider-Man movie. And here we have playing cards being offered, collectibles. So a lot of fun. The second one, if you didn't find Spider-Man, was Justice League. We have kind of more of the animated look to it. We have that logo right here, which even prevails today. And opening up, we have Sega's Echo the Dolphin. Remember that from the Sega Genesis, and this is also for the PlayStation 2. Some of this we remember from watching the cartoons. We have the same styling here. And a lot of in-house ads, a lot of promotions for the same comic and magazine as well. And we also have, check out the new DCComics.com, which is year 2001, 2002, the internet and comics coming to be. Tony's Pizza Rolls. You're not a kid unless you had Tony's Pizza Rolls. Oftentimes had those after school, being careful not to burn the roof of my mouth. So that's neat. Stray Bullets was another one, more of like an indie title, and offering a different comic to more mature readers. Black and white over here. And this happens to be 2 covers, also includes The Matrix. So that was a big movie back in the day, as we all know. And some of that story here with the Matrix. Star Wars, big property, Lucas books right there. These are typically thinner. These are not a full-length book, often not as glossy. The page is almost the same weight as the inside. It gives a glimpse into the Star Wars franchise and some of the artwork from the artist there. It was a nice little teaser, if you will. It's the comic event of 2002, so it gave a chance for Dark Horse Comics to promote the Star Wars Attack of the Clones. And from the video game, Lara Croft and Tomb Raider, we have this crossover. Eidos Core, that's with Image Comics right there, early Image Comics. And this white spot is where the comic book store shop owners would put their name and their logo to let people know what the book was, where it was from. For example, this one right here. So pretty neat to see that. This happens to be independent comic. And some collectors want to have it untouched without it, and some really don't mind having the store owner name on it. We have in the adventurous pose, and her adventures take her to foreign locales, and you see her in her form jumping and doing the impossible. So it's a way to have the video game and comic book form. So Lara Croft right here, steamy and sultry, and this teaser right there. And of course, Image Comics saying, what's your image? So we have Spawn, G.I. Joe. We have also Bronze Sacrifice and other titles as well. So kind of neat to go back into time to see the first offering of comic book. Well, time expired oh so soon. That was 2002. I hope you enjoyed the original comics from the first comic book day, and that you make it out to your local comic book store to enjoy free comic book day and support the local shop owners. A shout out to Zombie Unicorn Comics in Chicago. They always have my back in all things comic. And also the Chicagoland comic community. So it's always fun to talk with fellow collectors and fans, and a special day that we commemorate. So I'll see you soon, and I'll see you in the path. All right, here's my chance to show you my collection of free comic books and play some cool music.